All right, wonderful people, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we bring you back-to-back update and information as it is hot. In case you have not joined our social media handle, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you will be the first. We'll collect them. Let's go down to the news proper as it is hot. You don't share for the land of the indigenous people of Biafra. The case of Nnamdi Kanu is heating up as it stands now because a lot of people feel that it is the time for this man to be released. And as it is now, Huriwa have faulted removal of Ozekome Ejiofor from Nnamdi Kanu's legal team. Let's go down to the full detail of the information. Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria has denounced the removal of Mike Ozekome and Ifeanyi Ejiofor from the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu's legal team. The right advocacy group described the move as not just a high court technical error, but a profound misstep considering the monumental successes both lawyers have achieved while defending Kanu. The group, in a statement by its national coordinator, Emmanuel Onwubiko, yesterday highlighted that the removal of Ozekome and Ejiofor occurred at a critical juncture in Kanu's legal battle. He pointed out how the new set of lawyers failed to convince the judge to grant bail to the IPOB leader, given his health challenges, which signals a setback in his quest for justice. The removal of Ozekome and Ejiofor came at a critical juncture in Kanu's legal battle, marked by the recent poor outing of the new set of lawyers who could not succeed in convincing the judge to grant their client a bail in view of his health challenges, Huriwa said. The rights group extolled Ozekome and Ejiofor for their vibrant legal representations, noting that their expertise and unwavering commitment to justice have been instrumental in navigating the complexity of Kanu's case. It highlighted Ozekome's legal acumen, which has led to dismissal of numerous charges against Kanu. Similarly, they acknowledged Ejiofor's steadfast advocacy and unwavering commitment to his client's cause, despite facing personal risk, including alleged assassination attempts and tragic losses. Meanwhile, the youth wing of the APES Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, Nnamdi Igbo Youth Council Worldwide, yesterday called on the federal government to release Kanu and bring about peace in the southeast region. The leader of the IPOB recently stated that he could end insecurity in the region within 2 minutes of his release from detention. A statement issued by the national president of Nnamdi Igbo Youth Council, Nnamdi, appealed to the president, Bola Tinubu's government, to leverage on Kanu's assertion and restore normalcy in the region. Oku noted that Kanu's continued detention is not beneficial to the country, saying that granting him bail would be the best interest of Nigeria's security. He said it was in the overall interest of Nigeria's security that he should be granted bail and allowed to attend his trial from home. Nigeria has been contending with all manner of insecurity from different quarters for years now, even before Tinubu came on board, but any non-kinetic approach that will bring about peace should be speedily embraced by the government. When I don't see as it happen, many people are still choking mouth for the matter where we say a consign Mazen Nnamdi Kanu Ohamadike one of Ndigbo as they query the government and also pleading with the government to make sure that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is released as soon as possible from the DSS detention. And Ohaneze is of the opinion that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's release will bring about peace and tranquility in the southeastern part of Nigeria. And I think that the government should look into this thing. Looking at these things, the government has looked into other matters like this, like the case of Sunday Goho, even the case of Sowore and the rest of them. I think Kanu should be given the same privilege as other political activists in Nigeria. All right, I see the be for Nigeria. The information will be say just enter for my table now. Be say Tinubu don't place 3 months ban on foreign trips for ministers, others. President Bola Tinubu has banned ministers, head of agencies, and other government officials from embarking on public-funded foreign trips. The ban will last for 3 months in the first instance and will take effect on April 1st, 2024. This was contained in a letter dated March 12, 2024 and signed by the Chief of Staff to the President Femi Gbajamiamila. An address to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, in January, Tinubu issued an order to reduce the number of people accompanying him on both local and foreign trips, noting that his delegation members should not exceed 25 for local travels and 20 for international trips. He also mandated that security agents at his destination should provide his protection instead of being accompanied by many security personnel from Abuja. This came following the backlash he faced during and after the last 28th Conference of Parties, COP28, in the United Arab Emirates, which about 590 Nigerian officials attended. Responding to the public outburst, the government said it provided funding for only 422 out of the 590 individuals in the delegation. The letter indicating the ban read in part, Mr. President has concern about the rising cost of travel expenses borne by ministries, departments and agencies of the government, as well as the growing need for cabinet members and heads of MDAs to focus on their respective mandates for effective service delivery. Considering the current economic challenges and the need for responsible fiscal management, I am writing to communicate Mr. President's directive to place a temporary ban on all public-funded international trips for all federal government officials at all levels for an initial period of 3 months from 1st April 2024. The ban, according to the letter, was aimed at reducing costs in governance. It added, the temporary measure is aimed at cost reduction in governance and intended as a cost-saving measure without comprising government functions. Tinubu added that government officials who intend to go on any public-funded foreign trips must seek and get presidential approval at least 2 weeks before embarking on any such trip, which must be deemed absolutely necessary. It added, all government officials who intend to go on any public-funded international trip must seek and obtain presidential approval at least 2 weeks period to embarking on such trip, which must be deemed absolutely necessary. When I don't see as that matter to unfold, my question is this necessary? Is the presidency not overstepping his bound on placing ban on ministers from traveling to outside the country for a public-funded trip? Another matter is this one of the ways of cutting the cost? I think cutting the cost is quite allowing because taking 422 delegates to United Arab Emirates, of course, the government sponsored this trip. I don't know how much the government has spent in sponsoring this number of people for this trip to United Arab Emirates, but I think that must have cost the government a lot. And I think if that's the best way the government will be able to cut costs, I think so let it not be only on the ministers, let it affect each and every office and parastatal in government so that they will be able to know what they are doing with the money and also be able to give a proper account of the expenditure. I think it's high time Nigeria will adopt an open government where the government will be able to tell the people what they are doing with their money and if there is any infrastructural development, the location and the cost of that particular development. Meanwhile, as CDB, Niger Delta militants aren't kidnapping their families like bandits because they are all armed in creeks. Gumi, Gumi na they talk this one. Say Niger Delta people know they kidnap their families because all of them are armed. In the compare with wetin dey happen for the northern part of Nigeria, as if the issue of terrorism have become the order of the day. Ahmed Gumi, Kaduna-based Islamic cleric, said militants in Niger Delta region aren't kidnapping their family members of their communities like bandits in the north because they are all armed in their creek. Gumi said this during an interview on Nigeria Info FM on Monday evening, reviewing his call for amnesty for the bandits terrorizing the northern part of the country. The controversial critic said the federal government must grant bandits amnesty just like the Yaradua administration did for the militants in Niger Delta region for peace to return to the north. Countered with the argument that bandits aren't fighting for a cause, unlike militants who were angry because the government neglected their oil-rich region, where the country generates the bulk of its revenue. Gumi said bandits are also marginalized Nigerians who have no access to education, health, good water, or other social amenities. When asked the reason why bandits are kidnapping their family and members of their community, unlike militants who targeted mostly expatriate workers for oil companies and government officials, the cleric said it is because everyone in the creek is armed. The reason is because they are all armed. They are all armed in the creek, he said. He added that bandits, who are most herdsmen according to him, are terrorizing other northerners because they believe that they are conniving with security agents to fight them. Gumi said the federal government should negotiate with the kidnappers who abducted about 287 school children from Kuriga Government Secondary School, LEA Primary School in the Chikun local government area of Kaduna State because it is the only reasonable way to ensure the safe return of the pupils. He argued that the negotiation does not necessarily mean money will be paid to the kidnappers. It might be releasing prisoners for captives. Onye mere unu make I wind down the curtain here.